matrix by elementary transformations. So before coming to the rank of a matrix, first we have to know the knowledge of the elementary transformations. What is the elementary transformations? So elementary transformation is done by the row and column also. So elementary transformations. Elementary transformations. So here the elementary transformation will be done by the row and also by the column. So those we can also call elementary row transformation of a matrix and also the column transformation. So what is the elementary transformations? So elementary transformation, in that we can make a first rule, the first procedure or first rule we can also call, that is interchange of any two rows. Interchange of any two rows or columns. We can make interchange of any two rows and any two columns. Second one is multiplication of any row by a non-zero constant. Multiplication of any row by a non-zero constant. Similarly, multiplication of any column by a non-zero constant. That is our second step or second rule of the elementary transformation. Third one is addition of any row a constant multiple of any other row. Similarly, addition of any column to a constant multiple of any other column. These are the elementary row or column transformation. Means we can make any interchange of any two rows or any two columns, and also we can multiply any row by the any non-zero constant term. Similarly, we can multiply the any column by any non-zero constant term. Similarly, addition of any row to another row that is multiplied by some constant number, multiplied by multiple of any other row or any constant term. And similarly, addition of any column with another column which is multiplied by some constant term. Now I am explaining this procedure by some rule here, means by some example here. A equal to, in generally I am taking A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. So how to apply the rules and how to indicate these rules by the symbol. First I am taking the first rule, interchange of any two rows and any two columns. Suppose I am going to interchange, so I am explaining all the rules to row transformation. So similarly you can take the same application also to the columns. So first I am explaining only the row transformation here. So the interchange of any two rows. Interchange of any two rows means first I am taking here interchange of first and second row. This is our matrix. Interchange first and second row. So how to indicate this sentence? This sentence is simply indicated by this symbol. Interchange of R1 and R2. If you similarly make the interchange of first and third, you can indicate R1 equivalent to R3. Interchange of R3. So how to write down the matrix? Interchange of R1 and R2 means all the R1 elements written in the R2 and all the R2 elements written in the R1. B1, B2, B3, A1, A2, A3, C1, C2, C3. That is apply of the first rule of the row transformation. Second rule says that multiplication of any row by a non-zero constant term. Don't interconnect here the first and second. Just first second rule will be applied separately to the matrix A. Now I am applying the third rule, multiplication of any row by any non-zero constant. So I am multiplying any row here. So suppose I am taking a R3. R3 is multiplied by consider a constant K. So how to indicate this one? That is K into R3. R3 tends to K into R3. That is indication of the second rule. So how to write the matrix now? Don't compare to this one. I am taking the same matrix A here. Clear? Don't make any connection in between the first and two for this. Clear? So multiplication of K to the R3. So write down the R1 and R2 as it is, B1, B2, B3. R3 tends to K into R3. So when you take the multiplication, all the elements of the R3 is multiplied by K. K into C1, K into C2, K into C3. Now come to the third rule. Addition of any row to a constant multiple of another row. Means any row can be added to another row which is multiplied by some constant. For example, addition to a second row, K times the first row. Means addition of second row, K times of the first row. Means R2 tends to R2 plus K into R1. Clear? Now how to write down this? We are making a rule to the second row. So that first row A1, A2, A3. Third row C1, C2, C3 will not be changed. Keep them as it is. We have to take addition of R2 plus R2 means B1 plus K into R1. R1 is A1, A2, A3. So first element is A1. A1 into K. K into A1 plus B1. K into A2 plus B2. K into A3 plus B3. That is how to take the transformation of the third rule. So these are the three main rules will help us to finding the rank of a matrix. So that is row transformation. Similarly, we can make the same transformation to the column also. Interchange of any column. Suppose C1 interchanges with the C2. C1, C2. A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2. These should have to be interchanged. So A2, B2, C2. So next A1, B1, C1, and third column will not be affected by anything. Now constant multiplication by the K. So now I am taking the C3 tends to K into C3. C3 tends to K into C3. So first, second column will be written as it is A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2. Third column is multiplied by K. So K into A3, K into B3, K into C3. Similarly, C2 tends to C2 plus K into C1. So C1 will be written as it is A1, B1, C1. C2 equal to C2 plus, C2 means A2 plus K into C1. C2 plus K into C1. A2 plus K into A1. A2 plus K into A1. B2 plus K into B1. C3 plus K into C1. And third column will be written as it is. So that is how to take the addition of the matrices. How to take the addition of the rows in the matrices. So these are the rules of the elementary transformations. Using these elementary transformation, now we have to solve the examples to find the rank of a matrix. Now before coming to the rank of a matrix, here there is some important topics that we have to discuss now. So that is, first is equivalent matrices. Equivalent matrices. So what is the equivalent matrices? Suppose we have two matrices A and B. Suppose A and B are the two matrices of the same order. A and B are the two matrices of the same order, are said to be equivalent. We say that A and B are equivalent if one matrix is obtained by another. Means B is, suppose, just I am taking an example, not exactly. B is obtained by A by some successive finite number of elementary row or column transformations. We say that A is equivalent to B if B is obtained by A by the some finite number of elementary transformation. Then we say that A is equivalent to B. For example, see here, this is our matrix A and this is our another matrix we obtained by this transformation. But these two matrices are not equal. This is another matrix which is obtained by this matrix A. We can say that A is equivalent to this matrix. This matrix is nothing but B. Means A and B are equivalent if B is obtained by A some finite number of elementary row or column transformation. That is called equivalent of a matrices. So we indicate that in this symbol. So next one is echelon form. Echelon form of matrix. Echelon form of a matrix. So what is the echelon form of a matrix? Suppose A is a non-zero matrix. A is a non-zero matrix said to be row echelon form. Said to be row echelon form if it satisfies the following conditions. A non-zero matrix A is said to be a row echelon form if it satisfies the following conditions. So what are the conditions? First condition is all the zero rows are below non-zero rows. All the zero rows are below non-zero rows. Second condition is the first non-zero entry. The first non-zero entry in any non-zero row is 1. First condition is all the zero rows are below non-zero rows and all the first non-zero entry in any non-zero row should be 1. Now I take an example here that will give you the clear idea of the definition of the echelon form. So echelon form means, so I am taking an example here, 1 2 3 2 0 0 1 2 0 0 0 1, and another one is 1 4 2 0 1 0 0 0 0. See here the all the elements here, the zero rows, this one is a zero row. All the zero rows should be lies below the non-zero row. This one is non-zero because here the one element is present, that is 1. So it is not a non-zero, it is not a zero row, it is a non-zero row. All the zero rows lies below the non-zero row. That is our first rule. Second rule says that first non-zero entry in any non-zero row should be 1. This is a non-zero row. All these are 0 entries. So first element which having a non-zero entry, that is 1. Suppose this one is 5. Suppose if I write 1 2 3 2 0 0 1 2 0 0 0 5. This is the first entry of the non-zero row, but this is not equal to 1. If it is a 5, then it is not a echelon form. So that is first entry of non-zero row. This one is the first entry of non-zero row of the second one. So that is should be 1. And this is also a non-zero row. First entry should be 1. And this is also a non-zero entry of the first row. That is also 1. So this one is a non-zero entry of the second row, that is also 1. So I am taking a one more example here. 1 2 3 2 0 1 2 9 0 0 0 0. This one is a 0 row, lies below the non-zero row. So this is a non-zero row. First entry of this non-zero row is 1. And this is also non-zero row. First entry of the non-zero is 1. So that is the echelon form of a matrix. So echelon form of a matrix should satisfy the condition that all the 0 rows should be lies below the non-zero rows, and the first non-zero entry in any non-zero row is always 1. So those are the rules of the echelon form. Then we say that the matrix is echelon matrix, row echelon form of a matrix.